Becoming your future self right now is easier than you think. And I'm going to tell you how to make this shift and why it actually speeds things up. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to any new viewers. We are talking more about how to speed up manifestations, prevent and remove those delays that might be coming up, why it's happening. I go through everything in sections in all my videos so you guys get a full comprehensive view of what's going on with your manifestation. And today specifically about why you're experiencing those delays, what might be the causes, so you can actually understand what's going on, what you can relate to. There'll definitely be at least one point that you're probably engaging in that is slowing down your manifestation. And then following on from that, obviously how to get out of this rut, how to get out of those delays and jump over those little speed bumps along the way, finishing up with exactly why this method works, so you really understand what you're doing and why. So do keep watching to hear all of my advice throughout this video. Thank you so much to my subscribers, to my LOA coaching darlings. Everything will be on screen for people who are interested in signing up. And now let's jump right into the video. Wavering internally directly impacts your external results with your manifestation and what you experience overall, not just the manifestation results, but just your life in general. Externally, everything is impacted by what's going on internally, in your mind, in your thoughts, the emotional state that you're holding on to and continuing to be in. If you're wavering internally, and chances are you have had some wavering, if things are up and down, or you feel like you take 2 steps forward and 1 step back, and things just aren't as quick or smooth as you want with your manifestation, then yes, very likely the answer is that you have been wavering. So if that's what's going on internally, then the external results are simply a reflection of that. You can't think 20% positively and 80% negatively and then again expect to have an amazing manifesting experience and think, well, I did 5 minutes of affirming, or, a couple days in a row I was focusing on the end result, so why is it not here yet? You can't allow your thoughts to just be, unfocused or not uncontrolled, but without, the right balance and the right self-awareness and conscious effort, so that they are predominantly negative, tied to an old story, anything to do with doubt or just you thinking as if you don't have it. That is what falls into the category of negative thinking. And if it's only 20% positive, and these are arbitrary numbers, but I'm saying if the majority are negative, the minority are positive, then what do you think your 3D will reflect? So consistent effort is required. This is an area where maybe people falter in their motivation, in, self-discipline. It's definitely something I've seen my clients come to me with, and I can see the pattern straight away usually, that they're just not persisting in the right way of thinking or the right effort. Obviously, only you know your own thoughts, but based on what I hear from people, I can see that the way they're going about things, the doubts and questions they come in with, they have been ruminating and overthinking the old story, the 3D reality. And if you're not applying that consistent effort, and like I said, it's not perfect, it's just the effort, then how do you expect your 3D to just shift around? And how do you expect whatever circumstances might be in the way, whatever's causing that lack right now, to dissolve, and also to just leave your own thoughts? Because once you stop thinking about it and worrying about it, the 3D dissolves it. There's also the perfect timing that comes in with manifestation. This is also how I personally obviously view my prayers being answered. That's a big part of what I believe in, my faith, and trusting that everything will come together perfectly for me. So I tie that into my manifesting and visualizing and just knowing what's going to come together for my life. But there is a natural perfect timing to it. So if you're impatient, then you're not letting that natural timing just come together perfectly. You're wanting it now, this second, yesterday, instead of knowing, okay, the 3D might not have it yet. It might not physically have shown up yet, but I am putting in the effort and I know any day now it's very, very likely to come in. And then you go back to thinking as if you trust and and you have this peace and confidence, which gets built up over time. You don't just suddenly have perfect confidence, but it does get built up and you reach that point of just feeling really good and knowing. You don't need to believe it perfectly, but you just need to understand and trust. This is how manifestation works. That if I'm patient and I give myself grace and patience as well, and know that my mindset shifts day by day, that the results are coming in together. There is a perfect timing. It will unfold. You can't always predict the circumstances, the way your manifestation comes in, the communication that leads into it, whatever it might be for any topic, SP or others, you just don't know what is going to actually lead to your manifestation, the bridge of events, or the situation and event of the day where you literally physically receive the results. Have that patience and understanding of knowing it's not up to you to fully control it. You don't control the how. Yes, you can decide that, and you can say, well, I want a text from SP that says this, or I want, a perfect date that looks like this, whatever it may be. Yes, you can obviously pick out details. I'm not saying you have to be vague or, completely relinquish control or a vision of that, but usually it comes in, on a certain day, in a certain way, in a more perfect way than probably you can imagine right now. But you just have to trust and know it will come together. The result will come in naturally as it's meant to. It's not about forcing or deciding, this is exactly how it has to be and I'm going to be rigid. You have to be more fluid with that and just, have the patience and understanding. Manifestation unfolds in its own way. Everything, all the pieces are being brought together. And likewise, that ties into having confidence in yourself, not just manifesting or going through the motions and saying, well, this is what I have to do to get the result I want, but actually shifting it around and adopting that new mindset, this new positive way of thinking, having that confidence, and especially having confidence in yourself, because again, it's you. I always say this in my videos. You're in control of your reality. No one else is telling you, you have to live this way or achieve these goals in life. You're deciding what your life looks like. So if you don't have confidence in your own ability to apply manifestation, then that's also slowing things down because you're not trusting in it, you're wavering, you're maybe questioning yourself, questioning your affirmations, not knowing and trusting that you get to decide and not just make a decision of what you want, but saying, this is what my reality looks like, focusing on it, knowing that if you hold it in your mind, it then becomes true in your reality. So try and build up, if you feel that this is an area you're faltering in, your confidence in manifestation, but in yourself, in the way you apply manifestation. You're no different to anyone else. Everyone, Beyonce, Kim Kardashian, whoever, any celebrity, any successful person, they have the same ability and success potential as you to apply manifestation, to achieve your goals. There is no difference. They don't have some secret formula for how to manifest or achieve an amazing life, achieve success. You can use your mindset. Well, actually, even Kim Kardashian and other celebrities have spoken about it. Hilary Duff recently spoke about it. It is a very powerful tool that a lot of people have harnessed the power of to manifest what they want. And you have that same ability. So don't compare yourself in a negative way where you're thinking, if other people manifest this quickly, why is it not working for me? Stay focused on the end result. Build up your confidence and trust in yourself. It's also a case of not just assuming, oh, it's not working, I'm not seeing it in the 3D, therefore it's a failure, it's taking too long, something's wrong. Just because you can't see that result in yet, it does take time to build up. When you're having that patience, it is working, it's happening behind the scenes. You're not going to see every little movement come in, every little puzzle piece being put together. A lot of it is going to be internal, intangible, almost invisible to the eye, to your own personal experience, especially with other people. You're not going to see every emotion and every thought. So keep that in mind and remember, you don't have to see it for it to be working and coming together. Start and end your day in this new version, in the new reality. I do this as well, not every morning because, sometimes you're not fully awake and maybe you have a really busy day, but try and make this a general practice where you have the intention of every day waking up with positive thoughts, speaking to yourself, thinking to yourself as if you're in this new reality. So waking up and then going to sleep as if you're already this new version. Your reality and your literal life is the new version. You just have to think those thoughts, train yourself, show your mind saying this is the automated way we're thinking. We don't wake up worrying and being annoyed at things going on that day or the weather. You think about, you don't wake up and think, oh, I'm not in my ideal reality. You say, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for my date today with SP. Oh, when I check my emails, I'm going to see, all of these payments come into my bank, whatever. Tell yourself whatever you might do, check your phone. Most people scroll their phone. Set these intentions, speak to yourself from that version. And then wherever required, apply your mental diet. You probably will need a strict mental diet if you have had delays or it's been very you've been very aware of this, and you think that this is definitely something that has been happening in your manifesting experience, where you have had a delay, or you personally believe things are taking too long, something's wrong, be on a stricter mental diet. There's a good chance that because you've been wavering, as I said at the beginning of the video, that now you will need to apply a mental diet to counteract those wavering thoughts. This will also help you to actually pinpoint that root trigger. What is the thought that keeps coming up? What's the theme that keeps coming up? Is it something to do with self-worth? Is it something to do with the timing of manifestation? Relinquishing that power to the manifesting experience, relinquishing power to God as well. What is it specifically that you think you don't have full trust in, or that is causing concern and worry in your mind, and therefore it's reflected in a delay? You'll be able to pinpoint the trigger of what's actually in your thoughts. It might be, SP isn't texting, the communication concerns keep coming up. You will actually see what the issue is and how, where you can actually put your focus. You can say, I'll do more affirmations that target this specific topic. I'll do more of a mental diet affirmation, and then pick one every time this type of thought comes up. And this goes without saying, but obviously robotic affirming throughout the day. So if you apply this method, you enjoy affirmations, specifically robotic, mindless, just looping the words, just to, saturate your subconscious mind, keep doing that throughout your day. And set a timer when you're affirming. This is also a key element. So just, knowing that I've put aside a certain amount of time, I've not procrastinated or got distracted. I know this is my 5 minutes to focus and do this. You'll build up that motivation, and it should be something enjoyable. Even just 5 minutes. It's very quick. It's very simple. It's not tedious. And then you can go back to whatever task, break it up into something pleasant, 5 minutes of affirming, a productive task, 5 minutes of affirming, something like that. And then also convincing yourself that manifestation works well for you. That could be another area, like I gave examples, that is triggering you. So I wrote down a few example affirmations that you guys can use. And I do actually sell these as a digital product, not these ones specifically, but I list out loads of affirmations in all my digital products. So if there's an area you're struggling with or you want to work on, take a look at my website, because I think most of them list at least 10 or 20 suggested affirmations for specific topics. And I have one about money as well. But here are 3 affirmations I wrote out for you guys. Manifesting is so easy for me. Self-explanatory. My thoughts are always positive. Again, helping with that wavering. And then I have a perfect mental diet, even though I don't even need it. So you're speaking to yourself as this version of, my thoughts already aligned. I don't even need a mental diet, but it's perfect regardless. So it's going to help with all of that concern, worry, doubt, but it does take consistency. Also imagine putting yourself 1 week from now in your ideal reality. Your result has shown up. Your manifestation is in your life. You're 1 week ahead. You've done all the work. Imagine yourself. How would you think? Just put yourself mentally in that place. Maybe also when you start your day, when you wake up, try and imagine to yourself, okay, I've just woken up. It's a week from now, and this is me mentally living this experience that is guaranteed to me. This is my new reality where I have, X result. And try and think some thoughts to yourself. Just mentally feed into what that would be like. If you can connect with it mentally, it makes it so much more realistic, and therefore resistance is lower. What you're doing is literally mentally fast forwarding into that end result, into the wish fulfilled state. Obviously, it doesn't have to be full visualizing. I know people often tell me, they can't visualize that well, or it maybe takes it's hard to focus on that. That's fine. Especially, if you first wake up, although your mind might actually be more kind of malleable during that time, and your thoughts might be more malleable. But if you don't like that, you can do it through scripting. You can just have an inner conversation. There's so many different ways that you can apply that. Manifesting objectively works for everyone. Like I gave you guys examples before, this works because it's not a secret skill or something, a skill that you have to study for 3 years in order to even get a good result. It's just your thoughts. It's just a way of harnessing and structuring your thoughts and the way you think, your mindset. So manifesting can work for literally anyone. You just need to put in the effort. And because you're targeting your subconscious mind, these are all things that are convincing your mind, I'm in the new reality. This outcome is already mine. It can speed up all of those results and jump across those hurdles because you're literally training and targeting your subconscious mind. You're saying, this is my reality. This is what my life looks like. That relationship, yeah, here are all the details. This is what I'm seeing mentally. Therefore, it's a fact. Your subconscious will assume this is a memory. This is a fact. I keep thinking of this specific topic, this specific scenario. Therefore, it's true. And then it has to become true, reflecting in your 3D reality. And obviously you will be preventing and slowing down that wavering. So that prevents delays, because there won't be a hot and cold reflecting in your reality, because you're targeting your thoughts. You're deciding, I'm not wavering. Here's a consistent effort of my affirmations, saturating my mind with that end result, telling myself I have it, and you will not waver as much. It will diminish. So obviously the more focus you put in, the more internal conforming there is, the more visible movement. You will be speeding up your own internal conforming, which is key, which then is this cycle of, not wavering as much, your subconscious conforming, your 3D reality bringing in those results. All of it is tied in together and creates this really positive, almost automated cycle. So remember that repetition is shifting your subconscious beliefs. That's the key here. That's what you're doing. You're convincing yourself. You're just thinking the right thoughts. It's all about what's going on internally for you. So I'm going to leave this video here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a bit of a long one, but if you did, do thumbs up and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell. Maybe hype the video below if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.